everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Finally, here I am. I've been trying to get content together for you, and here we are. So excited. So, first thing I want to talk about is the Red Sox. They are on a streak right now. I pray that it keeps going. Been a fan since '76, and yeah, kid, the Red Sox. Yeah. Anyway, so today, want to talk about social media and how it is affecting our generation, Gen X. So we're the generation, we know a little bit of everything. We have had our feet in all the worlds for a long time. We know analog, like we know how to answer a phone. We remember when we usually, used to be able to pick up the receiver, and that's where this comes from. Nobody knows what this is. People just do this now. I don't get it. But we had to learn it because the electronic world, the digital world, we've slowly been, I don't know. We've been integrated into it for a good while now. So we're pretty adept at it, unlike the generations before us, unlike my mom and dad. But I wouldn't say that because my mom is really good with her phone. But it's not something they're born into. They're good learners, but we have had a chance to be in it for a little while, to use it, unlike the generations that came after us, millennials, Gen Y and Gen Z. I'll talk about that later. But social media, love it or hate it, it's here to stay. It's been here for a long time. I think Facebook has been around for over 20 years now. Maybe, I'm not sure, because I've been on it since 2008. And social media is so prevalent in our lives right now. The term doom scrolling. When you're sitting around doing nothing, you're just scrolling. Do I think that's good for you? No. But it's kind of just like watching TV, right? I don't even really watch TV anymore. I watch things on YouTube. That's where I get a lot of great information, is YouTube. Podcasts, because people are doing things, like I'm doing on a larger scale. They're providing information, news stories, things like that. But social media, God, I have a love-hate relationship with it. So in the early stages, for us Gen Xers, it used to be fun. Remember when social media was fun? Remember when Facebook was fun? I remember first getting on there and getting in touch with classmates, getting in touch with people that I hadn't talked to in years, and getting to see them, people that live in California. Oh, you get to see pictures of their dog, and it was very innocent back then. But I think social media has absolutely change the way we socialize. So over the years, it's gotten to be a place where people argue. You can always tell the age groups of people who are on Facebook. They even have whole, memes and Facebook pages dedicated to the stupid stuff that people say. My husband and I laugh about it all the time. My name is Janet and I have high blood pressure. So it's stuff like that. I forget the name of the kid, but he's from Boston and he's hilarious. But you can really tell the age group of someone who uses Facebook. You can tell, for me, it's been an eye-opener into people's intelligence, into their emotional state, their emotional mindset, who they are as people, what they think. And it's almost like I've always thought, you're not going to walk into a room and say some of the stuff that people say on social media, right? It's just, to me, it's whoever, Zuckerberg, whoever's in charge, whoever all you are. It's a social experiment for sure. But I definitely think it's changed the way we relate to each other, how we see people. Because years ago, so say you get in an argument with someone, like that's one thing that I notice on social media. I don't think people realize that you can track what somebody's doing unintentionally. How many times have someone said, oh, I don't want to come out, I don't want to see you, but then you check their Facebook and you see they were out somewhere with someone. What does that do to your mind? So years ago, you'd get in a fight with someone, or, when you were in school, high school or college, you'd get in an argument with someone and you might not see them. You might think about, oh God, I have to go out to this club and, oh, I dated this guy and, oh, he might not be there. But you weren't thinking about seeing them all the time. Once that was over, they were removed. But now, if something happens, say you're going through a divorce, which so many of us have been through at this age, over 50, right? I would say half the population, maybe even more. And some of you are on your second marriages. You see the stuff out there and it hurts, right? You just happen to see someone's there. What does that do to you psychologically? I think Facebook and Instagram, I've always liked Instagram. It's a little more simple, especially since they started doing the reels. I mean, TikTok, I haven't really been a fan of. I know you can make a ton of money on there. Maybe I should be over there. I don't know. I used to have an account during COVID, but I got rid of it. I just didn't love it. But I do love Instagram. I was actually a beta user on Instagram. So I've been on there pretty much since its inception. But it changes your attention span. There's studies that have been done. And again, these kids who've been on social media, or the iPad, the iPad kids, their attention span is so much smaller. There are certain times where I find myself doing that, going through and skipping something. I'm like, wait a minute, stop doing that. So that's when I put the phone down. Our generation went through the normal stages of socialization, right? You go to school, you're around other kids, you're interacting in person. You're not texting someone to say, I can't come into work. You actually had to pick up the phone and say, hey, Barbara, I can't come in today. I don't feel good. And then they would yell at you and say, why not? Because nobody cared. But I just think social media and Facebook and being online has really destroyed kids' ability to have relationships with real people. I mean, the Gen Z joke, right? The Gen Z stare. You go to talk to them, hi, can I help you? But why do they have that look? It's because they're used to looking into a computer screen. There's no reaction. So I worry about it. I think about this. I have this conversation with people all the time. You can see into someone's life a lot by what they're posting. And this is no judgment. It's just an observation. It's just my observation, how people work. I'm fascinated by how people deal with things, how they make themselves vulnerable. For a long time, you could really tell who was smart and who actually has a slight bit of an education or who did well in school, especially in English, just by the way that someone was posting. I'm kind of really a stickler for grammar and for spelling and for syntax and things like that. And I would always see people writing stuff and I'd be like, oh my God, what are you doing? It just makes other people view you a certain way. And, some people go on Facebook and they post their entire life. They post their medical appointments. They post everything. It's like, does anyone really want to hear that? I mean, are you that? Some people are pretty self-involved. I started this channel a long time ago because I want to help people. That's the only reason I do this stuff, is because I want to help. It's the reason I became a yoga teacher. It's the reason I work with the elderly. I want to help. If you look at it, great. If you don't look at it, great. I love it. But, you can see who's really self-involved in social media. And I for sure think it promotes a lot of narcissism. And people throw that around a lot. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be any of that. But you can see where holding a camera in front of yourself. Sebastian Maniscalco, the comedian, had said something pretty profound in one of his shows. He was talking about kids taking a selfie. And then I remember one time he says, why would you call it a selfie? I call it a lonely, right? And he was right. Because years ago, if you saw someone taking a picture of themselves, you would totally make fun of them. Like, what are you doing, you idiot, taking a picture of yourself? Now it's how people live, right? You're out somewhere, you take that selfie. It's almost like you're always looking in a mirror. You're looking in a mirror, you're looking at yourself. So social media has really promoted that, and I really don't know how I feel about that. Is it great for my business? Is it great for the music that I do with my husband? Yeah, you press a button and you can reach a ton of people. Years ago, when you worked for a company and you wanted to advertise, you had to take an ad out in, yes, the phone book. We had a whole book that had numbers in it, and you had to pay to have that advertisement in there so people would know who you are. If you were in a band, you had to do flyers. There was no social media. I mean, the first thing that was really great for music, I think, was Myspace. Again, dating myself, but that's a Gen X thing. Myspace was awesome. I had a Myspace account. I found so much good music from Myspace. But again, I have a huge problem with people, there's a lot of people on social media. It's almost like they really portray themselves as victims, right? You can tell by someone's mood. It's like that vague posting like, terrible day. Like, would you walk into a room and say that and like expect people to be like, it's almost like you're fishing for, help me, like, I don't know. I just have a huge problem with that. I've always had a huge problem with that. So I have a lot of issues with social media. But the other thing that bothers me lately is the use of AI. It's insanity. And I know what you're going to say. I know you're going to say, hey, Stace, AI is here. Get used to it. And I understand that. But as far as all of a sudden you see people who never could spell, who could never speak properly, who could never even write, suddenly they've just miraculously become more prolific. Where did it come from? It's because it's not them. It's because it's AI. You can put posts, you can put pictures into the AI machine. It checks it and says, this is AI. And I just get worried that so many people are so gullible. People altering their photographs, people using pictures. Like, okay, I get it, it's easy. But since when is easy better? I try to use all real pictures of myself, real videos, real stuff. I don't use AI. I don't want to. And I just think it's fake. I think it's cheesy. A lot of that stuff for the AI cartoons and everything, it's just, and the funniest thing is when you see this AI picture, it's like, wow, that person looks great. And you see them in person, it's like, oh, AI. Yeah. It's like, do you think we're not going to know it's you? Like, just because you enhanced that photo and did all this stuff to it, I mean, it's like you're lying, right? The whole thing with AI, kids using it in school for tests and reports, these are the future doctors and nurses. Are you going to trust that? I mean, it's people pretending to be smart when they're not. When you go to school, you take tests, you take exams because it sets you apart from the people that don't know. I want the person that does know how to perform open heart surgery. I mean, who knows? Maybe in 10, 20, 30 years, by the time I'm in my 80s or 90s, it's going to be done by a robot. It's going to be so precise and so perfect. There won't be, the human hand won't be able to have any mistake. There won't be mistakes. It'll just be a computer. It'll be AI, and maybe that's good. Maybe that'll help save lives. But again, I just hate all this AI stuff. It drives me nuts. And social media is definitely experiment. It's definitely experiment. And people are so different. And the texting thing and not talking to someone, I think kids, it's such a loss for them because they haven't gone through I don't want to say, is it a milestone? It's just the learning curve of learning how to be social. Like, they don't know how to talk to each other. All they do is text. And I mean, don't get me started on keyboard warriors, on people who are out there and make comments and say terrible shit, but you won't see them. Oh, I'm going to see you. Trust me. And when you do see me, you should probably cross the road because I don't want to say I'm a confrontational person, but I'll hold you accountable. Okay, I am confrontational, but I'll hold you accountable. Sometimes it doesn't make me a lot of friends. Don't care. I want to hold somebody accountable. I'm an authentic person. I really am. I'm not going to pretend. If I have bad news or something that's constructive, I'm going to try to tell you in the nicest way that I can. But keyboard warriors, people that are out there, trolls on the internet, it's just created this whole different dynamic in society of how we deal with each other. So anyway, so my favorite thing I do like Instagram. I've had an Instagram account for a long time. You can find me on there. My husband and I both have an Instagram account there as well for our musical duo, Two Pieces. And yeah, social media. I mean, love it or hate it, it's here to stay, right? So, what are we gonna do, right? How do we handle social media? I guess you just got to roll with it, kid, right? Because my newest mantra is you have to keep up or you'll get left behind. So that's it for today. We're going to be talking about next week music and my favorite music from about 40 years ago this month. And I've been talking with some friends. I'm thinking about doing record of the week. So record of the week. Hold, please. Foreigner. Head Games. I loved this album. Dirty White Boy. It was great. I remember when I took it out of the library and I brought it home and my mother was pissed because she was like, why is there a picture of a girl on the toilet in the bathroom? But great music. Huge influence on my life. I love Lou Gramm. He's getting older, but he's still out there. He's still singing. And again, I'll always tell you, I think music keeps us young. It's something that raises the vibration. So, yeah, if you haven't listened to this record, maybe play it on Spotify. That's the whole thing about not getting left behind. So if you have a turntable, great. This is the true form of media, right, is the record. But you can, download and listen to a little bit on Spotify. This is, again, one of my favorites. Head Games, great song. So I'll leave you with that. I hope you like the intro and the outro music. My husband wrote that. Okay, so it's pretty cool. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you soon.